Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, Homemaking with Lizzie. I am Lizzie and I'm the content creator for this channel. I'm so glad you decided to join me. And in today's video, I have 21 kitchen and cooking tips for you to try. Things that are tried and true tips. They aren't some fluky TikTok things. These are things that your grandmother did and things that are a little more innovative for our time as well. Also, don't forget that this video has chapters, so each tip will be a chapter. So if you're looking for a specific tip, go down to the description box and you'll find all the chapters there. But my personal favorite is number 14. Stick around for this one. This one I promise you've never seen before. This is new for me and it is a game changer. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, tip number 1, bleaching your cutting boards. My cutting boards I use all the time and I love white cutting boards, but white cutting boards can turn yellow from cutting onions. They can turn yellow from cutting especially like carrots or bell peppers, anything with a lot of pigment to it. And so I really needed to get around to bleaching my cutting boards. The way I go about doing it is I will fill up my sink with hot water and then I will pour, to be honest, just a bunch of bleach into it, at least a cup. And then I will stick all my cutting boards into it and I will let them sit for at least 30 minutes to an hour and then I will pull them out. Here you can see the difference because my cutting board didn't completely fit in there. So you can see the part that bleached and the part that's still yellow. This trick really does work. So go ahead and give it a try. I did want to mention that I like to pop my cutting boards into the dishwasher afterwards to make sure all the bleach gets taken off. After I pulled my cutting boards out of my dishwasher, they've looked even whiter than when I pulled them out of the sink. I don't know what it was about the dishwasher, but I would recommend putting them into your dishwasher if you have one, and you'll see the results. This tip is worth trying. Tip number 2, baking soda in the refrigerator. This is a tried and true tip. This is probably nothing new that you've heard before, but this is something that truly does work and is a must-have in every single kitchen, especially in a refrigerator. This one will take out all the smells and eat up all the odors that occur in your refrigerators. Meats, garlics, onions, all these things can be absorbed by this awesome baking soda. My other side tip to tip number 2 is that I like to keep my Costco seasoning containers. The reason I like these is because they have a lid on them, but because you can open up the tabs, these tabs still allow the baking soda to work, but if it spills, it's not going to make as big of a mess. I also like to keep my baking soda personally in the door of my refrigerator because it's a little more snug and it's less likely to spill. Tip number 3 is something that I buy at the dollar store on my checkout lane. This is something that they always have as like an item that they want you to grab at the last second. It's a package of Dollar Tree clips. These are really cool because they're snug enough that they can really get a good grip on what you're putting them on, but they're not hard like binder clips. I used to use binder clips on my chip bags and the different snack bags that I had. So what you're gonna do is you're going to fold the corners down like dog ears, and then you're going to roll the bag down from there, from the top down, until you can get it as snug as possible. And then you're going to clip that Dollar Tree clip right on top, and this will help keep all the air out. Tip number 4, I like to use a microfiber cloth, anything that you want, and you're going to get it damp, and then you're going to lay it down on your counter and then put your cutting board on top. Tip number 5, how caterers cut melons up. This one is a tip I learned from my sister back when I was in high school. You're going to slice off the ends, you're going to cut the melon in half, and then you're going to peel away the outside peel and then slice into sections. This trick can work for any melons. This is also a tip that can work for pineapple. A lot of caterers don't have a lot of time to be messing around. They need to be efficient and they need it to be presentable and even. Now I'll give you a second take for the second half of the melon. Tip number 6. This one is going to help save the greens that you're buying. What you're going to do is grab some paper towels and you're going to layer this on the top or wherever the opening is where you would normally grab out your greens. Then you're going to seal it back up and you're going to flip it over upside down and store it into the refrigerator. So it's really going to preserve the life of your greens. Tip number 7, spray your cans down after every time you take the trash can out. I like to use a disinfectant spray, and this really helps keep odors down inside of my home that may occur from just stuffing a lot of things into our trash can. No one is immune to trash can smells. This tip has been used in our home for at least 7 or 8 years, and it has worked great for us. Another tip is also to wipe out your trash can at least once a week with disinfectant wipes or similar to keep any sticky messes or any spills that might have occurred cleaned up and keeping those odors to a minimum. Tip number 8 is something I learned from my mom back when I was growing up at home. She would put saran wrap or plastic wrap on top of our refrigerator. All you have to do when it's time to clean up is just lift off that layer and then replace it with a new one. This tip has saved a lot of scrubbing. I actually didn't do this tip when I first moved into my home, and I haven't cleaned the top of my fridge for a really long time until I decided to do my kitchen refresh, and I got up there and I realized, oh my gosh, I have so much grease and grime on top of my refrigerator. I need to put the plastic wrap down. I need to take my mom's own advice. So this tip really does work, and it's a super simple thing to do. So go ahead and give it a try. Okay, tip number 9 is sort of a newer tip, but also one that you've probably seen around. This one is to buy a ZIPLOC or zippy bag storage container. But the difference is that because I have a small kitchen and a large family, I need to be super wise with the space that I do have, and I don't have a lot of drawer space in my kitchen. This storage container actually has 2 strong magnets on the back, and they work really well on the side of my refrigerator, and it's never fallen from me pulling out bags. This one you can find on Amazon, and it's relatively affordable, but the link for it will be down in the description box below. This next tip is for those of you who have a box grater. This is going to be a game changer. Right along with the grater, you're going to want to freeze your mozzarella cheese. Tip number 11. This is also another game changer. Mozzarella cheese can be very soft and very difficult to grate. So if you place it in the freezer for at least 20 to 30 minutes before you decide to grate it, it will freeze it just enough that it'll be a breeze. And tip number 12 is to flip your Ziploc bag inside out at the top. That will help ensure that it stays open for you, so as you fill it, it's not going to keep closing. And that way it also keeps the zipper of the bag clean, so you don't have to go back and clean it off before you zip it shut and store it. From my big sister Rachel, tip number 13, she shared her tip with me, how to keep your delicate pastas from breaking open while cooking. What you're going to want to get is a wooden spoon or a spatula, and you're going to stir your pastas with the handle and not the end that you normally cook with. This is going to help them slide in between without them busting open and bumping all of your beautiful delicate pastas, and when you're done, they'll all be intact. Tip number 14, the one I told you to look out for, is going to change your baking game. So what you're gonna do is freeze your block of butter so that when you need to cut it into your pastry flours or blends, instead of cutting it in, you're going to take that frozen butter and you're going to grate it. And it's so much easier and so much faster. Go ahead and give this tip a try, and I promise you'll never look back. Tip number 15, shredding your chicken. I know you've probably heard that, if you pop your chicken into your stand mixer, it's going to just do it for you, you can walk away. I personally don't like that option. It does work, but it kind of makes my chicken mushy because it keeps shredding the same spots and then you still have chunks of chicken. What I like to do is use a hand mixer. Yes, it is more hands-on, but it is going to ensure that you have an even shred. So instead of just letting it run, you're going to go straight down into the chicken, into the spots that are the big chunks. That way you can get exactly where you need to be, and it's going to shred more evenly. Next up, tip number 16, keeping soft white bread or wheat bread stored in your cookies to keep them soft. This tip also works if you've maybe overcooked your cookies a little bit and they're a little on the crispy side. If you just place a piece of bread, store-bought bread preferably, into the bag, it's going to soften them by the next day. Tip number 17 has come to me through trial and error, and this next one is a no-brainer, but I had to learn it the hard way. So I like to grease my measuring cups before I like to measure any batters or honey. That way you're not having to get a spatula and scrape everything out. It just slides right out. I especially like to do this when I'm going to make cupcakes or muffins. That way the entire cup gets emptied out and you're getting a more even measure for each muffin or cupcake. Go ahead and give this one a try. Tip number 18. Have you ever had smelly hands after handling fresh garlic or fresh onions? I know I have, and it drives me bonkers. When I'm done cooking, I don't want to smell like I've still been cooking. So all you need is your stainless steel. This can be from your sink, or you can buy a stainless steel soap bar, and I'll have one linked in the description box below if you have maybe a porcelain sink. But what you're going to do is rub your hands onto the stainless steel. I don't know what the science is or what the magic is, but it works. It will take the smell right out of your hands. And it's a no-brainer. Tip number 19. Have you ever wondered if your oil is hot enough to start cooking? I know I've used water in the past to see if it pops, but I don't really like it popping at me. A tip that my sister Rachel shared with me is to stick the end of a wooden spoon into the oil, and if it starts to bubble around the wooden spoon, you know it's hot enough. Tip number 20. Did you accidentally oversalt your pot of soup or your boiling pasta? If you pop in a raw potato, this potato is going to act like a sponge. It's going to soak up all the excess salt, and your family will have never known the difference. And last but not least, tip number 21. Buying an insulated cup for each one of your kids is going to help save on dishes, especially during the summer, and it's going to help save on ice. I know it's also going to help save some of my sanity because if there's a lid and a straw, it's going to not spill and make a big mess. I let my kids take their insulated cups with them down to bed, so if they get thirsty in the night, they have a drink that isn't going to spill. You don't need to get any fancy insulated cups. I love getting mine from Walmart. I love getting mine from TJ Maxx. Right now, I've seen really cute insulated cups in the kids section and in the sports section at my local TJ Maxx for very reasonable prices, and they're very cute colors. Another tip is to let your kids put water bottle stickers on their own cups. This helps them personalize it and makes them drawn to their cup to want to use it because it looks like them, it feels like them, and it reflects their personality. Alright, that's a wrap for this video. Let us know, are there tips that I missed in this video? I would love to hear from you and interact with you down in the comments below. Again, I'm so glad you joined me. I would be so honored if you subscribed and liked this video. Until next time, bye!